Now, when your child has stabilized the fill-ins, okay, for the songs and fill-ins for the phrases, then that's the time you can flip it over.
1, 2, 3. And don't you stop the music, get into it. Won't you dance with me? Find a place and lose it. You can do it. Won't you dance?
Hello and welcome back to ZM2J's channel. This is Jocelyn P. Mangibin, a board-certified behavior analyst and an international behavior analyst. So, if you're new to this channel, let me give you a little bit of background of what we are talking about. We are discussing about applied behavior analysis. It is a scientific approach in which we are looking for the variables, we're finding the variables that has a direct effect on your child's behavior. And we are continuing with a talk about verbal behavior. And with that, we are also continuing about the verbal operands. And this time, we're gonna talk about intraverbal. What is intraverbal? Technically, in ABA, it is a verbal behavior in which the functional control is from the ST or from the discriminative stimulus that is verbal. For example, you ask a question and the child should answer. So it doesn't have a point-to-point correspondence. Unlike the echoic has the point-to-point correspondence because what you want your child to say, they have to copy the exact word. But with the intraverbal, it's different. Same as true with what you're asking them. For example, you're asking the name and then your child has to answer the name and not copying what you have said. For example, what's your name? Instead of your child saying, what's your name? Your child should say, probably Alex, probably Sheila, and so on and so forth. And since I'm getting a lot of questions about how to train your child to answer questions, how to train your child to communicate to you, such a way he should answer different kinds of questions, different social questions. And this is the video for you to be at least a guide in a practical way. So let's start. How do you train your child to answer questions? First of all, guys, you need to remember that in verbal behavior, we have what we call formal assessment, okay? So we can see the skills of your child, what level your child will be, and what will be the prompt that we can use for your child. In such a way, we can know the approach that we can use for your child. Okay, so what are the leveling for the intraverbal? Basically, the first one should be fill-ins. Okay, now it's connected sometimes when you're doing the social play. You're playing, you're singing, and then you will pause. Okay, for example, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then you pause. And then your child has to fill in. So that is the first level. The child should fill in. How much time you can practice? As much as you can. Try some more songs and try some more SDs or discriminative stimulus or instructions or singing that you can pause. And do it like lively. Do it like really more natural for your child. And then when you're connected to your child, just pause your song and then your child will fill it in. Another kind of fill in is the phrase. Okay? So we can also use the phrase. The normal phrase, for example, up and then your child should fill in. Okay? Ready, steady, and then go. Alright? You can actually research what are the phrases that you can fill in. You can practice your child to fill in. There is also what we call fill-ins using the animal sounds. For example, dog says, and then woof woof, or in some point, ow ow, okay? Cat says, meow, okay? And so on and so forth. And there is also a fill-in like whatever they're doing in everyday life. For example, it's connected to daily things. Toothbrush and then bed and pillow. Okay, so it depends on what is the level of your child. But those are the simple levels that at least you can cope up systematically before you can go to the answering of WH questions. Now, when your child has stabilized the fill-ins, okay, for the songs and fill-ins for the phrases, then that's the time you can flip it over. So for example, dog says, then woof woof, and then flip it over. What says woof woof? Now you're starting with the WH questions. Another example, cat says, and then he should say meow, okay? And then flip it over. What says meow? And then he should say cat. Okay, so when he is really ready for WH questions, you can now integrate it with the social question, in which we start with what? Of course, what is your name? The only challenge with this is how you prompt your child. What if your child will not answer? For example, even the fill-ins, he will not answer. We will go again to proper prompting. Okay, it really depends on how can your child follow the prompt, and how can you also be consistent with your prompting, and of course with your reinforcing. Okay, let's have the example of prompting. Let's have the time delay prompting. Okay, so for example, you say A, B, C, D, E, F, and then you pause, and then you say G. So you echo it without delay. Then she will say G. Okay, good job. And that's it, you reinforce. Okay, and then such a time when you feel that your prompt is really getting stable, then you have to back off with a time delay 2 seconds. You remember that? And again, if the 2 seconds, 1,000, 2, 1,000 in your brain or in your mind, and then he didn't say, then you prompt again with that answer. Whatever your child you want to answer, that's the only prompt you will give. No more, no less. And be specific with your prompt, okay? And be clear. Okay, another example. For example, we go to what is your name? What is your name? Alex. There's no delay on that. Say Alex, okay? So in such a way, your child will be prompted accordingly. And then another one, you back off 2 seconds and another 4 seconds until such time you don't need to prompt again. And another way of prompting is for you to prompt verbal and you fade it out. Okay, for example, what is your name? Alex. There's no cutting, it's straight. And this fading out, like cutting off the word, is immediate, 0 seconds, okay? And then the next time around, what is your name? Al. Okay, you cut it in the middle. You're using the echoic to prompt your child to answer your question, which is connected to intraverbal. And then after that, you will say the next level will be, what is your name? Only the first sound, the initial sound. And so on and so forth. You can do that as much as you can. Just a disclaimer, it really depends on the level of the child. If your child can do the fill-ins, more fill-ins and stable without a prompt, then you can do to flipping it up. And you can even extend it to WH questions. Okay, so all of the fill-ins that, for example, has a connection to each other, like a partner, like up and down, or something like toothbrush and toothpaste, you can also produce some questions, WH questions, in order for you to extend the question and answer stimulation. Sounds fun, right? So just as a bonus part of this video, I just want to emphasize about the social questions. Since it's very, very important for the child to say what's his name and to inform you where does he live. Just for example, if the child has ASD or some disabilities, and it's very important for them to say, this is my number and this is, you can call this number. We are actually training the children who cannot speak really and who cannot talk with giving the card to the adult. So that means you can type all the name, the address, and even the phone number in there, laminate it, and you can practice actually your child to give it to you, reinforce it while you're practicing it. So I hope it makes sense. For the intraverbal, it's very, very important for you to check what is the level of your child. If you haven't done the fill-ins, go to fill-ins. Have social play, sing with your child, and pause in between. And then when your child is stable with that, of course you can go to the phrases fill-ins. And after that, if you can use some flipping of that phrases, okay, you can use also what questions or WH questions. There are also some higher levels of asking questions like where do you take a bath? Like WH but it's where. WH but it's when. When do you sleep? At night. Okay, so you can extend a lot of question and answers according to WH questions. But be careful, you should ask your therapist or you should ask your behavior analyst on which level your child is. But if it's in practical at home only, you can practice a lot of practical questions to your children as simple as possible. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked it. How to train your child to answer questions. And it starts with fill in the songs, fill in the phrases, flipping it over with the WH questions, specifically what questions, and then you can start with the social questions, and then you can extend it to where questions and when questions. And of course, our video technique for the children who cannot speak, okay, for themselves, they can use the laminated card that has all the information in it, and you can train them to give you the information if someone asks, what is your name? Where do you live? What is your phone number? So thank you so much, guys. I hope you like it. Please do share this video, comment down below whatever questions you may have, and I will be very happy to entertain them. Please don't forget to subscribe as well and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified for the new videos that I will upload. And guys, on the next slide, you can see my Facebook page that I'm doing everyday live except Saturday from 8 p.m. Philippine time, 4 p.m. here in Abu Dhabi. And we can have live discussion about your questions, about any practical approach in ABA. That's all, guys. Thank you for staying with us. God bless you.